Hi, this is Norcaffeine and welcome to another video of Banished. In this episode I will be talking a bit about the positives and negatives of farming versus gathering of food in this game. As everybody know, when you start out the game, especially like me, I play on hard all the time. You will not start with any seeds. You will have to buy from the merchants arriving at your trade post. And it's easy to become attached to gathering because it yields so much food. For example, this building has produced about 2,000 units of food in this season, which is extremely good. However, farming is equally impressive. Once you get stuff up and running, you have efficient logistics and storage close by. So, without further ado, I will start by maybe start with gathering first, because that is what everybody will be introduced or have to use early on. As I said, it's something you'll use early, so it's good because the food is provided by the forest, nature, which, unless you cut it down, you will have continuous growth of food year around. The other thing is that if you don't like having your food production inside the city like farming, you can place it outside, so you will have some rather nice looking cabins in the woods, some pipe smoke coming up and food coming in. It works very well in tandem with the herbalist, the hunting cabin, and also the forester. As you can see, I am hunting, I'm also gathering herbs and gathering food while cutting down and planting trees in this one area right here, which is very nice. So you gain more than just food from the same circle. So this is how you maximize the fact that you are using a lot of space. The other thing is that, as I said earlier, the food will grow and grow every season, no matter how cold or hot it is. So it is not dependent like farming on seasons. And like I said, it's a natural growth. As long as there is a tree around, mushrooms, herbs, berry bushes and roots will grow. Onions as well. Now to the pros of farming. As you can see, this city in particular, I have a lot of crop fields planted or just placed around my city. What is very good with this is it produces loads of food once you get to or that was a bad example. Yeah, it produces lots of food, almost as much as the gatherers that will do in 1 year, and it's very space efficient. For every or I can place about 6 or 7 full-sized fields inside this radius, so I will gain even more food from the same space from the gatherer's hut. And it's perfect for centralized towns if you like to build your build a city which is centralized. Farming is a must, because you can see these are fairly far away from my hub. Also, it's loads of difference. As you can see, I have 6 out of 8 seeds, I believe, so I can rotate my crops whenever I want to, so I can get different types of food, whereas the gatherer set will only produce 4 types of food, which is great, of course. And the last pro for farming is that in late game, this is very great to have, whereas gathering is good early on. So now I will start to tear down the facade of gathering, because as you can see, and I have expressed just vaguely, gatherers huts are very space inefficient. they takes up a lot of space. You have to build them further and further away from your city as it grows, and that is a big problem in this game. Space. It's not good when you centralize. It will basically end up feeding the guys living and working in the gatherer's hut, which is just stupid. So I will dare say that these farms are the only thing feeding me right now. Of course I have some food from the gatherers coming into my like city here, but as you can see, mostly dominated by agriculture food. And as I said earlier, I can fit about 6-7 fields inside the radius of a gatherer's hut, which again brings out the greatest flaw, its space requirement. And just in my opinion, when people live this far out in the woods, they are more prone to die of cold. They live away from tailors, blacksmiths, and the marketplace, which has everything they need. And also the danger of dying in your workplace is greater. They can be trampled by a boar, eat poisonous berries, if they're uneducated, of course. So it's a more dangerous type of work than being a farmer. But that's it for the gatherers. What's bad about farming? As I see it, it requires a lot of workers. As you can see, I have 110 right now, which is enormous. And that number of farmers compared to gatherers is, well, humongous, as you can probably tell. However, if you think about it mathematically, I guess one farmer will produce more units of food per year than a gatherer will, I believe. And moving on, of course, the problem with growing food is that it takes time. In this game, growing season will start early spring and continue all the way out to approximately the autumn, when harvesting will occur, which it will in real life, and that's about half a year time, whereas the gatherers will produce food year round. And while we're on that subject, the other con with farming occurs when we reach 0 Celsius or below 32 Fahrenheit, I believe, which is the freezing point. Your unharvested crops will wither away in the cold, which won't happen with the gatherers, so you will have to be wary of that. Another thing, as I said earlier as well with the gatherers, is that food will grow, will be provided by nature, whereas farming, unless you start on easy or normal, you will have no seeds, so you will have to buy them with 2,500 value, so that would be 625 firewood, for example, and that is maybe the biggest problem. Also, you have to have a trading post, which will be have to manned, and it costs a lot of resources to build. And yeah, also maybe the greatest problem, especially in this build of the game, is that when after you have harvested your food, your laborers or your farmers will be added to your labor pool. And when I say I want to clear off all these rocks, what I initially want is to have my laborers do it. However, my farmers, which are out of work, will also come to aid, which is a nice thought, of course. However, that will kind of screw you over the next year. If your farmers are up here clearing rubble until next spring over the winter, they won't be able to run back and grow your food, which is a big problem, I think. So when you are dependent on farming, you have to plan when you have to gather resources, because if you do that in the winter, what will happen is that your farmers will also be participating. As you can see, if I push this button, I will find a random farmer, hopefully confirming my theory here. But it's only I have experienced it a lot, and I guess you guys have as well. And yeah, here we have a farmer, which is okay now. I guess she is done harvesting her food. But when spring arrives and your farmers are in the other edge of the map, and they won't be able to come back until mid-spring, they maybe won't even cultivate the fields, meaning your food production will be maybe halved that year, which is quite annoying in my opinion. So that's maybe the greatest problem. It's not a bug, it's not a glitch, it's a game mechanic which is quite annoying, and I hope if this game will be updated that will be looked at, because that has sometimes screwed me over, that half my fields are only active. So I can't really think about anything else which is noteworthy of mentioning. Everything is covered, I feel. Everything I have been able to observe as the good and bad sides of both gathering food and turning to farming, basically. So if you have an idea, maybe you can comment on it. I hope you will also, I don't know, criticize some of my opinions as well. But yeah, thank you for watching. I hope this helped you, and please leave a like and a comment, and I will be seeing you next time. Thank you for watching.